friends, it's Janice from La Rue de Fleur. Welcome back into the studio today. We will be doing another episode in our March Mending Madness series. Today we are going to do a little bit of patchwork. So I have this fun cashmere little cardigan. As you can see, I'm a big fan of cardigans. And it was given to me, but I believe it has a few like moth holes or something in it, but definitely has a few holes. Now I could just sew them with a few small stitches and be done with it. You probably wouldn't see that and it would be fine. They're mostly on the back, but I found in my stash of product some really fun no-sew applique. So these are, I believe, from the 90s or something. I don't know, it suggests that you finish them with puff paint, which definitely feels like an early 90s thing to me. I'll hold this up for you. It's from a company called Daisy Kingdom from Portland, Oregon. There's their information. I have no idea if this would still exist or not, but someone gave them to me and they've just been in a pile of things that I went through recently. So I figured we will use these today and do a kind of a fun retro project. So I'm going to focus on the monarchs and whatever this butterfly is supposed to be. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I need all of them, but I'm kind of thinking we'll do a really fun little monarch spray across the back. So this is the area in the back. This area has several holes in it down here near the bottom opening. And maybe we'll just have the monarchs coming up the back and then wrapping up around the shoulder or something like that. I don't know. I just thought it would be more fun and kind of a cool experiment since this is something that somebody gave to me. And otherwise I might not wear it. I don't know if it's worth like that much time to fix it, but this seems like a fun trial, and if it doesn't work out, that's okay too. But I don't know, I like to have some fun quirky little accessories as well, so this seems like a fun project. So to get started, I am going to turn on my iron and read the directions. Because they're on fusible, we're going to need a nice hot iron. It also says to finish them with puff paint, but I might go around the outside with some light stitch work just to secure them in place, or maybe I'll just leave them alone. I'm not 100% decided at the moment. I guess it depends on how they stick. Since these are, oh, it says 1993 on it. Okay, 1993. So Daisy Kingdom, 1993. Says it's from Portland, Oregon. Anyway, so we will just kind of see where this goes and have fun with it. So I'm going to turn you around and we're going to start with our ironing and reading of the directions. Okay, I was reading the instructions and it does not actually have the fusible on it. So it says that you need to apply a double-sided fusible web to the images and then put them on, which it seems like if you're selling it as a kit, sorry, Daisy Kingdom, it should have come with the stuff on it. Anyway, so I'm digging through my bin and I do have some Heat and Bond double-sided adhesive that I can iron on, so luckily we can do that. And I will just get that set up really quickly and then we will be all good to go. And at least I won't have to worry about will they fuse because my Heat and Bond is not that old. Okay. So before I go ahead and use my Heat and Bond, I'm going to iron my panel out so my butterflies are nice and flat. I don't want to have creases in them to the best of my ability. And I am going to cut out just the ones I think I'm going to use, because I know I'm not going to work with the blue ones right now. Or maybe I will just go ahead and do the whole panel with the fusible. And then I will have these couple of big blue ones ready for something else in the future. And I won't have to worry if I have the Heat and Bond, since I have pretty much a large enough sheet. I'll have to cut one slice and throw it over here, but that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you've never used Heat and Bond before, it's fairly self-explanatory from the directions. Mostly you just want to make sure that you're testing whatever fabric you're using beforehand to make sure you're not going to melt anything. But they have all of the instructions for you, so you just read them and then you do your best of your ability to follow them. It's really nice and easy to cut out, which I really like. So I do a bunch of different applique projects because it's a really fun way to add some curves and some decorative elements that you might not otherwise be able to create. I'm not really an English paper piecing person, so I'm not going to take the amount of time that that kind of thing requires. So therefore applique is so much easier because you can have some printed images on fabric like this and basically use them as giant stickers on your fabric. So that's sort of what the Heat and Bond does for you. It's basically like creating a fabric sticker. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this up. I'm gonna trim this piece off so that it fits on the other side, and then we'll be good to go. I just want to try to not get anything on my ironing board area because it is sticky. But I'm going to go ahead and tack this down really quickly. So I just put it on the paper and move it a little tiny bit to secure it in the area that I want. And then I will trim off around the edges and do a more detailed ironing. That just allows me, see now this part's stuck on, I can see where I can trim it and I can throw this down on the other side to complete my stickering. And as much as possible, like I said, I'm using regular paper scissors right now, and I'm going to trim away everything that hangs over the edge because I don't want to get that sticky glue on my regular ironing board because it will stick to other things and be a mess where I don't want it to be. So I'm just going to clean up the edges of this all the way around, and then it will allow me to get really tight up on all of the images and before I finish ironing. Okay, I think we're all good. Just kind of check that everything is stuck really well and that there's no bubbles. So I just sort of run my fingers over it and try to feel that it's like tacked down really nicely. Maybe give it a light pressing from the top as well. Go nice and slow with your iron. But you can't go too slow, you can't stop, or you'll scorch things. Okay, I think we're all good. I am going to get my scissors and cut out around my butterflies that I intend to use. So all of these that are in the orange and black family, the monarchs and whatever these little guys are supposed to be. And we'll save this for another project. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I have another little top that we could put these on that would go with more this blue, green, purple palette. So I'll see if I can find that. Maybe we'll do that one as well. So I am going to get started cutting and have a hunt for this project. Okay, I found that other piece as well. So this one is another little like coat that looks like a little topper that was handmade. So you can see the hand stitching in here. Someone gave this to me as well, and it has a hole down here on the front panel, and I'm not sure if there's holes anywhere else. I'm gonna give it a nice press because it's kind of been wadded up in one of my bins, and then we'll have a look at placement on this as well. I'm also going to go ahead and give that little cashmere black cardi a press so everything is nice and flat and we're not creating any bumps and ridges underneath of our applique. Also, make sure that your fabric is washed. If you're buying something new from the store, always wash it before you amend it with anything. That way, if the fabric is going to shrink, it's already done it. So wash it and care for it as you will once you put the applique on. And that way you'll be sure that you're not going to get any shifting of the fabric underneath of your applique that would cause it to ripple or bubble in a way that would not be appealing. So I'm going to finish pressing these and then I'll be right back. Also, while you're ironing and you have your garment laid out and flattened, is a great time for you to inspect and identify where all of the holes might be so that we know where we're going to have to strategically place our applique. So we definitely want to start with that and then see where we can work from there that makes a pleasing arrangement and visual on our garment for this application of these little butterflies. So I know I have these 2 holes in the back. One is down here and one is here near the pocket area. Still on the back, but it is sort of wrapping around the front, which is what makes me think I'm going to create a spray that sort of comes up the back and maybe over the shoulder or a little bit into the front lapel area. But while I'm ironing, I am definitely looking to see if there are other holes that need patching, which will definitely dictate where those butterflies need to go. And I think what I'll be doing is just marking those holes with a pin as I see them, so I know the areas that I have to cover. Also, I'm not a huge fan of this like double rolled little pocket element. So I'm not sure if there's something I would want to do here to like tack that down in place a little bit more. It just kind of appears sloppy to me. So I'm kind of thinking about that. Like, what could I do? Maybe add some additional stitches to it. I don't know, or let it go. I'll think about it. Okay, so on the black cashmere cardigan, I've identified 3 spots. There is one on the arm and 2 on the sort of side back of the left side, what would be the left side whenever I'm wearing it. So now I need to arrange my butterflies and figure out where they are going to sit, that in a arrangement that covers all of the spots and also looks visually pleasing. So I need to cut out my butterflies and then see how large they are, how many holes they can cover at each time. I'm thinking of doing, like I said, some sort of spray that would wrap up either the front or over the shoulder, and I need to get one over here on the arm that makes sense. So I am going to cut out those butterflies, and then I think I'm going to pop it up on my dress form so that we can see where they would actually hit whenever the garment would be on. Cutting it out with a little bit of a white border around the edge because to get the antennae in and some of these details I need to leave the white around it. So I think it would just be better if the entire thing had a little bit of a white border. I think that will make more sense and be intentional looking. If you didn't care about the antennae or you wanted to stitch those on, I suppose you could cut straight down. This is just the way that I would do it with a sticker. Or a die cut or something else I would be cutting out and leaving a little white border. I also think because the background of my cardigan is solid black, that the overall details will stick out a little bit more with that white edging. But again, that's a personal preference. So you do you, but I think that will look really nice on the garment and make it stand out. Okay, so I hate to admit how much time I took, like just moving those butterflies around in a few spots, but I think I got an arrangement that looks a little bit like a spray of butterflies just flying over the garment. I had to have one here because that's a hole. I had to have one here because that's a hole, and I had to have one down here that's a hole. But I feel like it kind of wraps up and around the arm and over my shoulder, which is the effect that I was going for. I don't want to put it right here, even though I think placement wise it might look nice, but because this is such a jointed area there on the top part of my shoulder and my arm, I'm just afraid that it will stiffen the garment and it'll make it harder to wear. So I was trying to be a little cognizant of that while I was placing the butterflies as well, that I didn't really want to place it somewhere where I felt like the stretch of the garment was necessary to get it on and off and not rip it. So now that I have them pinned in place, I just tacked them really lightly with one pin in the center to get the placement. And this one, I'm not entirely sure what direction. I think I would like it a little bit more if it went that way, kind of flying off toward my base of my neck. Anyway, I'm really happy with this overall, I think. I kind of wish I had a few more different sizes of butterflies to fill in some of the gaps to make it even more, but I do really like it, and I think overall it's the effect that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it off of the form and peel the sticker backing and iron everything in place. Okay, and so if you're at this point and you're like, yes, very cute, that's a really cool idea, but I don't have any Daisy Kingdom 1993 peel and stick patch things. All you need to do is go get yourself some Heat and Bond iron-on adhesive, double-sided, and you can choose any image from any piece of fabric that you like and put a piece of Heat and Bond on the back of it, cut around it. You're making essentially, like I said before, a fabric sticker, and then you can apply it just like this. So you kind of put the heat down onto it using your hot iron, and you count slowly to 10 or whatever it says on the directions, and then you've got a sticker that's adhered over whatever you're trying to cover. So it can cover a stain, it can cover holes like I did today, small holes. I wouldn't do this if you have like a large hole, like, but small pinholes, like where maybe your sweater got caught on something. I wouldn't also do it with like chunky fabric. I don't think that that would stick very well, or something that's slick. Obviously, like I said, you'd have to check if you're going to burn your fabric, but anything that's cotton or linen or the cashmere, something that's a natural material that can take a really high heat so you can melt the adhesive, will be fine. So like canvases, cottons, all of that natural stuff would be great for this. So if you want to do it with those kinds of fabrics, I think you'll have more success. And yeah, I don't know. I just think this is kind of a fun project. It's a little quirky. It's a little unserious. But, I mean, does everything need to be serious? I don't think so. I think this would be so fun to do also with things that are thrifted. So these were gifted, but I feel like this person thrifted this to begin with and then either got a hole in it or just didn't want to have it anymore. And that's how I got it. But it's really great for those projects where you have that small hole that you're not sure what to do with, and you can fix it up and kind of make it have a little bit more personality. I think especially on that black cashmere sweater, it gives a lot more personality to something that's otherwise very bland because it's just that plain black. And we have plenty of plain black things. So why not have a black thing that also has some monarchs on it? We love monarchs. So it all makes sense. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I'm going to put up a couple more glamour shots. Maybe I'll model this one. And thank you so much. I hope this inspired you to get something out of your mending bin and to try a patching technique.